Hey, and welcome to another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
And we're continuing, really ending our little Halloween horror month with the 1931 Frankenstein in honor of this month's Victor Frankenstein, directed by Paul McGowan, written by Max Landis, and starring James McAvoy and Daniel Radcliffe. Contrary to popular belief, this isn't actually the first adaptation of Mary Shelley's classic horror book. There was actually a version produced by Thomas Edison in 1910. A silent version, obviously, but yeah, this is the first sound adaptation of her book, and really, 1931 was just a fucking awesome year for Universal because at the beginning of the year they released Dracula with Bela Lugosi, and here at the end of 1931 they released Frankenstein with Boris Karloff. Just a phenomenal year. Last year we did a commentary for The Invisible Man, which was directed by James Whale. He really, first he directed this. This is where he cut his teeth. And this is really the year where Universal establishes their classic Universal horror, their monsters lineup. So, it's definitely a very important film in that regard. Do you guys have any thoughts about Frankenstein in general or this film?
I love the old Universal horror movies. I'm always interested and enjoy watching any of them. So I'm excited to watch this one.
I was since I've always been like the really tall kid. I was frequently referred to as like the Frankenstein monster, and even went as him for Halloween once before doing Dracula or anything else. Of the classic horror genre. So I'm a fan.
Got anything, Josh?
Not really.
Have you guys seen this lately?
No,
I have not.
I
no.
haven't seen it in at least 20 years.
Yeah.
Never seen this version.
Oh, well, this is iconic, man. The whole it's alive. You're in for a treat. Well, without much further ado, Chris, start us off.
Yeah, so we got, I think this is the initial DVD release of it, but I'm pretty sure it goes throughout its entire lifespan without ever being really changed or anything like that. So you should be good watching it, whatever medium you have. We have the movie ready to go. The counter is at all zeros. I will give you a countdown and tell you to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Hello.
Starts right off with this guy.
Make me feel better. Yeah, this is a pre-code film. And it was very controversial when it was released because, by 1931 standards, it was fucking scary,
Yeah. And that was it was one of the first movies to do that, right? And then
Oh, yeah.
And then like that kind of got reproduced to the point where now it's like being parodied. Like the beginning of Ed Wood starts out almost the exact same way.
Yeah, remember, sound films had only been around for like 4 years, too. So a new dimension of horror.
Yeah, and this is even pre-Wizard of Oz.
By
right?
8 years,
8 years, yeah. And all I remember was that was
Pre-color,
made
yeah.
in the 30s.
Yeah, 39 is another great movie year. You get that, you get Stagecoach, a lot of great stuff. But there is James Whale. You can see Ian McKellen play James Whale in the movie Gods and Monsters.
So good. And I love the how they have the monster as question mark. Like I think that's really cool. Now I think it would be cool if we like found a way to like continue that on. I know it's near impossible nowadays with like Twitter and just spoilers like Josh.
Is the doctor's first name Henry in this one?
Yes.
It's not Victor.
Yeah, I don't know if they're German in this.
Is that Christopher Lloyd?
Yes.
Yes.
As an old man.
And there's Thomas Edison as Thomas Edison. Just kidding. And that's John Hurt.
As John
the
Hurt.
Hurt Locker?
Yeah. And there's Joseph Stalin.
Oh, and death.
And there's something metal.
There's Jake.
Yeah.
And Sam behind him.
You know.
I mean, telling him to go down on him, so
Looking sternful as always.
Sam might be a power bottom, but
This
not
is
always.
my lamppost.
There goes Winston Churchill with a shovel.
Well, how else did he defeat the Nazis?
He hasn't yet.
This is 1931. Nazis don't
Yeah,
exist.
he hasn't become prime minister yet, so
Yeah.
he's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, Harry Lloyd or Lloyd George is told.
Boy George.
Yes, Boy George. Yes, Culture Club.
we're just bouncing all over the place with celebrities in this one.
It was a very high-profile funeral, spanned decades.
People that hadn't even been born yet. There's a high mound for someone buried 6 feet under.
Well, Churchill don't fuck around.
Yeah, it's true. He wants
Churchill
you to
don't
know.
text.
Churchill don't tweet.
Stunts. It's honest work.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing he didn't lift that pickaxe too far behind his back.
Yeah.
Don't scrape the backdrop.
Yeah, seriously.
The scrim for those in the know.
Kind of looks
My
like
face.
it's a bit of a stretch, but kind of looks like Michael Fassbender a bit.
I was thinking something along those lines, like a very
Like a long face
almost malnourished.
with the hair, handsome.
Yeah,
Little fun fact, and
it is.
well, no, a little fun fact that was like in the credits. What we know is Igor. His character's name isn't Igor in this film. It's Fritz.
Oh. Fritz the cat.
So does this film take liberties with the titles, or is the
It takes
original
liberties with everything.
novel?
Oh, with the novel, yeah. The novel opens up with Frankenstein hunting for the monster in the Arctic.
Yeah. Yeah, the Kenneth Branagh version is a lot more accurate to the book.
I've said this on the show before, but I always thought Frankenstein was, a story about the hubris of man and the inability to accept death. Like that's the emotional core. That's of the story. That's the allegory.
Yeah, I've heard that, and like man's like battle with God or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
like being defiant.
Yeah. Vaginal hubris.
Yeah.
This is one of those things that like the censors went bananas about in 1931.
What, hanging feet?
Well, a hanged man.
Yes, feet are part of the equation.
There was a wide shot where you saw the man's whole body. That was quick.
Breaking the neck wouldn't destroy a brain, would
I
it?
mean, it mess up the brainstem.
Ah.
You guys see Young Frankenstein a lot?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's second only to Blazing Saddles. Is my favorite Mel Brooks film.
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah.
love that Abby Normal.
Yeah, and he actually got props from this film.
Oh yeah.
for this
Nice.
for Young Frankenstein.
It was also a really tough sell to be allowed to film it in black and white because like they had just gotten like all the last of their markets, like international markets, to switch to color because like some of the lower some of the foreign markets was still only capable of doing like black and white productions and stuff like that. So they were like, we just got everyone on color. Why would we want to produce something in black and white?
But yeah, Young Frankenstein is very much a love letter to this film. Speaking of 1931 horrors and love letters, which of the two do you enjoy more, Frankenstein or Dracula?
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
I've seen Frankenstein more, or at least like I was more into Frankenstein as a kid, but I think I'm actually more Team Dracula now. Team Edward, if I may.
Yeah.
I won't, but
Well, I mean, audiences connect with. I mean, Frankenstein had like a shitload of sequels. Like, it's one of the first major Hollywood franchises to get a bunch of sequels. Like, there was, of course, Bride of Frankenstein and Son and Ghost of and Son of Frankenstein, Ghost of Frankenstein, House of Frankenstein. Dracula didn't get a true sequel until House of Dracula.
I mean, as far as novels go, I know that the novelization of Dracula was the first to, like, truly frighten my mother. But as far as the films go, the Frankenstein ones always seem more enjoyable than the Dracula ones.
Well, you're not all about that blood stuff.
Yeah. Well,
it
and
is
just,
all about that base.
just the way how the creatures work in the mythos. Like, Dracula, you gotta wait for a certain time of the day for him to come out. Frankenstein doesn't matter.
Well, in the book and in the Gary Oldman film, true to the book, Dracula can exist in sunlight. He's just, his powers are a bit diminished.
And Tom Waits is in it.
Oh, that was a weird film snafu.
There's your Victor, Josh.
Is he a Frankenstein?
Well, you should learn how to read. Got her. But is he all along the watchtower?
Always. He looks a bit like Vincent Price.
Who would later go on to become a Universal monster himself in the sequel to The Invisible Man.
It's probably my favorite.
Which monster did he become?
The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
The titular Invisible Man.
Well, it turns out happier for him than Claude Rains.
What, is he the thief that steals the formula?
He's the relative. He's the brother. Is it brother? It's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure he's the relative or a family member.
Won't promise?
Yeah. No,
A lot of
she won't have a good
confusing
night.
dialogue in that entire scene.
It's a great set.
Yeah.
Very kind of German expressionist.
Mm-hmm.
She just wished him a good night, and then realizes, no, wait, I'm defiantly coming with you.
She became proactive.
That's why her skin is clear of pimples.
I want your scars. It's funny the similarities between this and The Invisible Man. Was this the movie or really pop culture thing that really started? It didn't start, but like the idea that Frankenstein's monster was called Frankenstein. Like people just took it because of the title of this movie.
Yeah, I think so. Because when you think about the film, you don't think about Henry Frankenstein.
Yeah.
You think about Boris Karloff.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think of Victor Frankenstein, not even Henry.
So you throw everybody a curve.
I think of I, Frankenstein.
I think
Did you actually watch that film?
No.
I
It's
think
on Netflix.
Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein from the Misfits.
Ooh. Oh, Doyle rules.
Yeah.
You guys remember the monster from the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing movie?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I saw that in theaters.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
The super intelligent one?
Do you know Creature from the Black Lagoon was originally supposed to be in Van Helsing? He was supposed to be
that'd
in
been cool.
a pond in the courtyard
Does
because
he
apparently
drown?
he only needs a pond. No, it's not like the creature walks among us.
That would have been cool.
Among us. You know what's funny? Since we mentioned earlier that the brain was no good on the hanged man because it broke his neck, and therefore the brainstem was damaged, those brains in the jars didn't look like they had brain stems. Just throwing that out there.
Also, being in those preservatives.
Yeah.
Also, wouldn't Frankenstein have seen it that said abnormal brain? And he's like, I told you the normal brain. DJ.
Some
DJ Frankenstein.
early dubstep.
This beat I drop shall be monstrous.
There's my bass. It's about to drop.
Yeah.
Except fear itself.
I mean, Reanimator is one of my favorite of the 80s horror films, very much a Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
That film terrifies me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's messed up.
I love it.
Messed up's putting it nicely.
What is it? Was it Dr. West?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
Herbert West.
Very much the
I don't know if
Frankenstein type.
I don't know if Lovecraft had written that in response to Frankenstein or if it was just a. Though I mean, the Lovecraft story is decades after Shelley's novel.
Yeah. I feel like there's definitely probably a homage to it. The idea of reanimating. Although theirs isn't about like piecing people together.
Yeah, he's just got a magical serum that no matter what, just brings any body part back to life. That set piece looks beautiful.
Frankenstein, Henry.
So that's his name, Frankenstein Henry.
For 1931, that's a good, him through the window is a good effect. Yeah, I still think a lot of these Universal horror films stand up, but I'm a little jaded. I watch them semi-regularly, too.
Well, we did the commentary for The Invisible Man already, and we talked about how great the special effects and how kind of trailblazing those were, aspects still being used today.
You guys remember the old sci-fi show?
The Invisible Man?
Mm-hmm.
I saw like episode or two of it. I remember, what was the Chevy Chase movie they did? Memoirs of an Invisible Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that, and I also remember Hollow Man.
Oh.
That's all you need to say about it. Crazy for feeling.
That part in his hair, though, man. Look at that.
He doesn't look crazy. He just looks pissed.
Everybody nod.
I don't trust a third nod. There was enough emphasis in it.
It's wild. It's wild, man. We're about to get into some serious shit.
In his basement, he has to feed the Babadook worms every night.
That's not unusual. That's just an inconvenience.
Yeah.
And it's not
because otherwise he'd be crazy.
It's imperative that you sit down. If you stand up, I can't do this.
It's ruined.
It's in the script. Even the storm is angry about him. So what is he talking about?
Gamma rays?
You could stand up now.
So first he yells and screams he's got to get away from the body, makes him sit down, and then tells him he can go back and look at it.
He wanted him prep him.
It's all about presentation.
I'd hate to see what he's like with a PowerPoint slide.
Plus Fritz.
Eh. So he never specifies what that new spectrum ray is.
Well, we don't want the viewers at home to resurrect the dead, Joshua.
Maybe I want to.
It's such a cool action shot that just doesn't feel like it's from the 30s, you know?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
We're goddamn ridiculous. I mean, like I said, James Whale directed this, directed Invisible Man, directed Bride of Frankenstein.
I'd say it's at about medium rare, medium well. What would you guys think?
I'll stick a fork in it and find out.
Weird science. Well, I remember that was always part of the Weird Science theme song. Also the song Weird Science.
As a kid, I used to run around going, "It's alive! It's alive!" It was always a very iconic moment. Just his sheer exuberance over it.
What'd you give life to?
Probably Mario. I don't know. Maybe G.I.
His
Joe's.
dick?
Yeah, I could control my dick at that age. even then, I was like, "Ooh!" I was like a voodoo doctor with my penis.
Playing God?
I guess they all are German.
Yeah,
I stand corrected.
that Fraulein line.
Bürgermeister too. It's German for mayor.
Yeah. Burger Master?
My dad likes to call himself the Burger Master.
Well, because Meister is master and Bürger are citizens. Because Germans, if anything, love compound words. So, master of citizens, mayor.
So he's the mayor of McDonald's?
Maybe.
Burger King, possibly?
Frankfurt.
Burger King would make more sense.
Der Burger.
So he's the mayor of Burger King.
He is the Burger King.
Or we see the Baron of the Burger King.
What's Baron Frankenstein?
He's about as coherent as my father.
Is your father a baron?
No.
I'll mock your words all I want.
He hasn't even seen Breaking Bad yet.
Or The Hurt Locker.
He hasn't even heard of Tom Hardy.
Now that's fucked up.
Hasn't even seen What Jake Wants.
Yeah.
What Jake want?
Yeah.
He's moonwalking.
Well, how else do you make an entrance?
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah,
That framing.
yeah. Karloff would kind of by the 40s, he was done with this role. He had played him. He had been so typecast as Frankenstein's monster by the end of by the end of this film. But he comes back for Bride, where he actually has lines or can speak coherently.
And Lugosi.
Lugosi only played Dracula twice, but yeah, he was typecast like some shit. He only plays Dracula and Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Vincent Price reprises his role as the Invisible Man as in the
Invisible
Abbott and
Man.
Costello film.
Well, he's got such a great voice for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he kind of got typecasted to horror for like the eternity of his life.
Yeah, but I think
Mhm.
he liked that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because he had a lot of range within it. One of his favorites was Theater of Blood, because it was about a Shakespearean actor that dispatches critics that gave him nasty reviews in Shakespearean ways. And he was like, that way, he's like, I love that film because it was a horror film, but I got to do Shakespeare at the same time.
I fight for the users. Waiting for his disc to come back.
Frankenstein's really all about wanting people to sit down in this movie.
It's because he has hidden dildos on every single chair.
Burn after reading.
I'm so high.
Fritz is really responsible for basically every fucking thing in this movie. He finds the abnormal brain. He scares the monster. He, mistreats the monster. Fritz is, if you're looking for somebody to like be like, fuck you, all you need is a judo chop. That's enough to take him down.
Judo chop.
Just Fritz completely forget he collected all the parts to make it.
It's me how I danced the Daft Punk.
I don't think Fritz expected it to be as active as it was.
Fritz is also an idiot. He's literally just there to help the doctor, but he doesn't understand the difference between a normal brain and an abnormal brain.
I think there's a lot more that Fritz doesn't understand.
Well, yeah, it's just one example. Come away with me. At least he is smart enough to realize that fire is an effective tool.
I mean, yeah.
This is just torture.
Exactly, which is why Frankenstein is so, like, mistrustful of people. He's the one that basically, well, that's the last we see of Fritz.
Does it ever go into, like, the backstory of, like, why the monster is afraid of fire?
No, I think it's just the elemental nature of it. I could be wrong.
Because I think it'd be cool if, like, oh, maybe that's how the abnormal brain, like, that the person who had the abnormal brain maybe, like, died in the fire, so it's like a repressed memory.
I don't know how, the monster knew how to hang somebody, but it can totally hang somebody.
Lots of hanging in this movie. You'd think that it'd be about Mr. Cooper. There's your 90s reference.
I hated Fritz too.
Yeah. The monster just found out Daft Punk's not touring for Random Access Memories.
No.
Very upset. It's okay. They won the Grammy for Album of the Year.
Sedative?
I don't know why that was funny.
Mm-hmm. Take him to Suplex City. Come on. Get him.
This is where Benicio del Toro saves the day.
Saves Frankenstein's life? Oh, his shit just kicked in.
By that logic, the monster saved Frankenstein's life because it stopped strangling him.
Fuck it, throw them all out a window, kill them all. No one gets to fucking get saved.
Is this some kind of sex thing?
Some
No,
kind of
this is a Weekend at
Suicide
Bernie's
Squad?
thing.
Wow, yeah, give him 2 seconds to answer the door.
I've heard of cranky, impatient old man, but this guy takes the cake.
You can't burn stone, Grandpa.
I really hope the old man gets it first.
I mean,
I can't speak for...
Fritz got it first.
Yeah.
Well, this is a sex dungeon.
He's like, everybody sit down. And sit down.
No, you gotta sit down.
Won't sit down. Needs to sit down.
Get them asses in the seats. Okay.
And this knife, and this one.
Yeah.
This one's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a very relaxed pose.
Yeah.
Casual Frankenstein's monster.
I've heard of getting a shave back in the old days, but this is taking it just a little too far.
Touch my butt.
Yeah. The fuck
Yeah.
you said?
Yeah.
Think
I'm not sitting down.
yeah. You think this was
Grab
okay?
it, grab it. Oh.
You're it.
You're supposed to say duck, duck, then goose.
You're not sitting down.
The doctor will be very displeased. Oh, I'm going out for a night on the town.
Oh, that looks good.
Yes,
I do love
yes, good.
Karloff's performance as the monster, though. Like, for me, it's no big surprise that he captivated audiences all those years ago. Oh, hello, Mama. Back when it was just like people waiting on you hand and foot.
Yeah.
You got your dog, you got your dame, you got your smokes and a coffee.
They're sitting.
Everyone's sitting.
He kind of sounds like Claude Rains. I meddled in things.
Yes. They're dead now, but and now that you're both wearing one, you're wed together.
Yeah. Very progressive.
Yeah.
It's a pre-Hays Code film.
Little do people realize, but the Germans were a lot nicer in the early 30s before the 40s rolled around.
Well, it's 2 years until the Nazis take power, so they're still under the effects of the Weimar Republic.
Oh, now we know why he's so progressive. He's drunk.
He thinks that the best man is the wife.
We're just skipping right to the reception, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
This movie's only 70 minutes. We gotta chop.
This is a pre-Nazi German wedding. They didn't have time to get gaudy. They barely had any money.
You know how many wheelbarrows full of Deutschmarks they had to cart over to pay for this?
2? Maybe 3?
That's a conservative estimate, Mr. Butler.
Mr. Butler, even the maids get to drink? Damn. This is a progressive wedding.
Yes, but after this one drink, the butler's forcing them to all clean those glasses.
Yeah.
Only the one on the end was like, yes, I can do it.
See? Off they go to scrub.
Ha ha ha. Remember the time we all sat down? Ha ha ha.
Remember the
That
time
was
we
grand.
Remember the time we left the monster
never
behind in the
sit
castle thing?
Yeah.
Just to be clear, this is still about Dr. Frankenstein and his monster.
Well,
right?
at this point, I have to wonder if they know that Frankenstein's colleague was killed, while trying to dissect the monster.
Probably not.
They're too busy with the wedding and not sitting.
Yeah. They got a lot of sitting to do.
Lederhosen!
Bratwurst.
And died.
Will someone stop the bells from ringing?
Wait, you hear those too?
The bells, the bells! Oh, hey, look, they're at Epcot Center.
What's it? There's a Geppetto's in the Magic Kingdom has a very similar setup as well as part of Adventureland.
Mm.
Or Fantasyland, rather.
Isn't Pinocchio a German thing?
That was a slow visual fade, but a fast audio fade.
He's like, enough of that shit.
Remember to sit down.
For decades, the scene was cut because people found it too horrific.
It's still pretty intense.
Yeah, and then they found a print of it in the 80s, and it was restored to the film.
Yeah, that kitty is pretty fucking terrifying, man.
That guy's pretty fucking terrifying.
I'm gonna go sit.
Let's go play with the saw.
We're gonna play Operation Kitty.
How many kitties can I make?
Just 2.
3 if you're really conservative. What's he do? Crush her skull?
You'll see.
It's still like to this day
Kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Well, how do you solve a problem like Maria?
You'll find out.
Looks like he shit his pants.
Well-
Both in the way he walks and the discoloration on the butchess.
You would too if you were a corpse brought back to life.
The simple, deadly innocence of the monster. He's like, well... Because there's no malice really here. He just kind of doesn't know.
Just wait
Doesn't
for it,
know
Josh.
What?
Just wait for it. Allow the
It's
story
funny.
to
It's almost like
unfold
it's... Yeah.
in front of you. I can't believe you don't know what's going to happen. It's redone in almost every single version.
Yeah, they address it in Young Frankenstein.
I mean, should I be terrified?
Yes. Look at the child.
Yeah, for decades that was cut because
Holy shit.
because the death of the... Because, again, they're the deadly native... You know, he's completely naive. He's not being malicious when he drowns the girl.
And he's actually terrified of what happened.
How the hell does she not know how to swim?
Well...
Swimming classes aren't mandatory at this point. Not to mention, I don't know, it just fucking happens.
Superior my ass the Germans are.
Well, she wasn't Aryan.
Pre-Nazi Josh.
Yeah. I like how out of context that whole exchange about superiority and stuff like that could be taken very wrong.
I also love the time jumps we're experiencing in this film.
Well, it's an old film, you know. By the time it got digitized for like this release, you had frames cut out of it because of damage or what. So yeah, you'll get jumps and stuff like that, and then also sometimes like between scenes, it'll seem like a kind of a jarring thing because at the time it wasn't that important. The fact that you were seeing an image on the screen moving was more than enough to keep the audience mesmerized.
Yeah. Again, it had only been 4 years since movies started to have sound. Like the cinema thing is still the talkies are still a novelty.
They're making gangbusters.
Hand over fist.
Like hotcakes.
I still prefer fist over hand.
I bet you would.
I'm sure you do.
Those bells are still going, by the way.
Jesus. There's just the Hunchback, even though I know it's in a different country. It's just like, Frankenstein's getting married. Yeah.
What is coming? What
It's the other
is
woman,
coming?
a.k.a. The monster. Divorce? Separation?
Divorce is still such a rarity. This is 1931.
Is it? Have we established what time period it is?
It could be even earlier.
It's true.
They still regularly wear lederhosen.
Yeah, who knows? This could be pre-World War One.
I mean, the book takes place during the 19th century.
Yeah, like 1890-ish.
Wow. I didn't realize you got powers like that when you got married.
Whoa. Josh.
Somebody farted. There's
Honey-
something on the wing.
Honey,
Something.
you can't handle this. I'm going to lock you in your room.
I like how your Shatner sounded a lot like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it turns into Nicolas
To
Cage.
be fair, I would love to see Nicolas Cage do
Play
that part.
Shatner?
He would have
Like-
been better than John Lithgow
To be
because
fair,
he's the one that did that in the movie.
I want to see Nicolas Cage as a Starfleet officer.
I want to see Nicolas Cage as Aragon.
Yeah. I want to see Nicolas Cage as the next bad guy for the Fast and the Furious series.
I want to see him in the Expendables 4.
I want to see
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage as Superman.
I still haven't
can
seen
watch
I
the
still haven't
documentary.
seen the documentary yet. I
Buy
really
the
need to.
Blu-ray and then take my digital copy.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll trade these.
Sounds
about
like
the
a
same
plan.
price.
Sounds like a plan. Pinky promise.
Pinkies.
We did, by the way. If
Yeah,
you couldn't
no,
see
there was
it, but-
actual physical pinky promising.
This guy is as good at sneaking up on people as I am, and that's impressive.
I like your dress. You were sitting.
Rrrr.
I mean, to be fair, she looks like one gigantic flower. I'd want to throw her in a pond, too. Now he's walking like he shit his pants, too.
To be fair, his daughter's fucking dead.
Yeah, he's still walking like Frankenstein's monster.
I mean, I'd shit my pants too if Frankenstein's monster killed my daughter.
I also don't know why you'd parade your dead child through the
It
town.
was a simpler time, man.
He wants action. That's
Yeah. Just like any good protest, they get behind one cause and make a spectacle out of it.
So he's an angry man-child on Tumblr?
see, answers your question, Josh. It's almost like you should watch the fucking movie.
I'm glad my question was asked in the film.
I do have to say it's much happier in the book because, like in the book, basically Frankenstein's monster is so pissed at him that he kills everyone, including Elizabeth, you know, as kind of a personal revenge. I think in the Brana film, doesn't he like punch out Helena Bonham Carter's heart or something like that?
Damn.
Something like
Well,
that, yeah.
he's more Yeah, he's more cognitive in the novel, right?
In the both the novel and the Brana film, which is very faithful to this or to the novel.
And also, like, they kind of loosely, probably unintentionally, split the book into Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, because the second half of the book, or at least in the movie, I haven't read the book, but in the second half of the movie, like, the monster demands getting a wife, and then she rebukes him as soon as she's like brought back to life.
Yeah, or though in the book, and if I remember correctly, because I haven't seen the Brana film in fucking years, like he strangles his bride right away because of her rejection of him. Whereas in Bride of Frankenstein, it's its own fucking thing.
So
Remember the good old days of just mob mentality?
This is where the idea of torches and pitchforks come from, so...
They know what they're going after here, right?
Nope. Well,
They vaguely know that they're on the look for something like a monstrous, kind of almost undead-looking thing. I don't think they know exactly what it looks like, but
a stranger.
How do they know they're on the look for a monstrous undead thing? Like,
I think I think Victor talked about it or something.
Yeah, maybe if we hadn't been talking during the movie. Wait.
Well, no, the father walked away, like, never saw the monster come to his house.
Father also is like half senile in this. Usually drunk.
Just like my father.
Some things never change. 85 years later.
Yeah. Parenthetical. That's not really true, but whatever.
For the sake of the commentary.
Yeah. Love you, Dad.
Yeah.
Even though I know you don't want to listen to the commentaries.
Yeah.
Just the show.
Commentary's been doing pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
People love them talkies.
Yeah. It's just a fad. It's just a fad, you see.
It's a fad, like color.
That one guy like, wait for me.
Yeah.
Wait for me.
I'm gonna be singled out on this film. You watch.
Well, shit, how many lanterns do we put up if they're coming by land and sea, guys?
And what are the dogs sniffing out? Do they have a thing?
Yeah, dogs are just enjoying the night out.
Oh, there's Frankenstein. He knows what he's looking for. I know we split up, but let's all converge on this one thing. It's just an opium addict.
I believe it.
I didn't see. I was unconscious. He tried to kill me. Stealth master. They just keep running past the same set pieces. Baby, come back.
He's like, here. One of their guys' names is Stags.
Stags? It's not Stags!
Surprise, motherfucker. Remember me?
Hello, Victor. My name's not Victor in this movie.
Open your eyes, Nicholas.
Yeah.
You ever wonder how I got these scars? Actually, it's Frankenstein's monster. Shut the fuck up!
So this is what an abusive relationship looks like.
Straight up just burned his fucking
Oh
leg.
yeah,
man.
landed on that fucking thing.
Ooh, you just gotta rock up the ass too.
That's played it cool for being lit on fire, basically, or burned.
Oh wait, that wasn't a rock. That was just like a shrub, little baby. As they run into the scrim.
Yeah, that'd be great.
James Whale just like, God damn it.
I'm never working with dogs again. Kids and dogs. That's what they, or animals in general. That's what they say. Never work with them. Where'd they get that? Some guys just carrying it around with them while they were searching.
Never leave home
Yep.
without it.
Sometimes you just gotta batter.
I've been waiting to break this baby out. Got it last Christmas.
The wife bought it for me. We just want to get gay married. Let us be.
They sample that line from Watchmen. Why don't you all just leave me alone?
Who watches the Watchmen?
To the end of Dick Tracy.
Can't you tell I love you?
Yeah. Can't you tell? I love you. I got
Think
framed
about
for
it, Tracy.
kidnapping. The only crime I didn't commit.
Think about it, Tracy.
Yeah.
Kill Big Boy.
Tracy, don't you trust me? No. No, I don't.
Just be honest with me, Tracy.
I've been trying to find a replica of the wrist radio, and I can't find it anywhere.
eBay?
No, not like they have the old toy ones, but like a replica of what they use in the movie.
Hmm.
No, I can't find it.
Damn. It's pretty hardcore. I didn't remember that.
Wait. He's still moving.
Don't touch that. Oh, God.
Let's go cornhole us a drunk.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of Dick Tracys. Yeah, Dick Tracy rules.
And
yeah.
that's how we solve the mystery of the monster.
Yeah.
It was just old man.
That started off as them. They didn't mean to light
This
it.
old
They were
man
like,
Frankenstein.
"Hey, let's all put our torches here, guys."
Yeah, we don't need him anymore.
Yeah, we don't need them. Oh, okay, all right. Well, that works, I guess.
And then a couple people just got overly excited. We're like, yeah, let's burn the fucker down.
Yeah.
And someone's like, actually, that's our main source of income. This mill. Okay, whatever. Oh, shit, now he's drumming.
Yeah, he's drumming the
Oh
Slayer.
yeah. You know
He is
who?
really raving hard.
No
to
shit.
this.
You know who was the first pick to play Frankenstein though?
Huh.
Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
He would have cornered the market on classic. Though I guess Karloff was also the Mummy.
Yeah, and he was also. They asked him to be the Invisible Man, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. So I guess this time it wasn't the beauty that killed the beast. It was
Oh,
fire.
rip their lungs out.
To be clear, there is a sequel to this one, right?
You're a sequel. There's like 4.
Yeah, there's like lots.
That's why, kids, if you're going to steal a brain, make sure it's a normal brain, not an abnormal brain. That's that's the moral of Frankenstein.
True that. Not don't play God.
No, just steal the right brain.
Yeah.
When playing God, he's dead.
He meddled in things men shouldn't meddle with.
What?
Nearly killed by your own creation and smoked out of a mill.
It's
yes,
my
why?
creation.
Yeah, one of the better variations of the Frankenstein.
Mythos. I mean, you got to put the bra on your head.
Like I said, much happier end to the Frankenstein story as far as they knew. One of the cool things about Bride is it takes place right after this film ends, where you see what happens immediately after the windmill burns.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they basically explain at the onset how Frankenstein's monster survives.
It's just like DLC. Pay $15 more to see how the story really continues.
And there it is. Boris Karloff played the monster.
Yep,
Previously, a question mark.
because a good cast is worth repeating. Good to the last drop. But yeah, that's Frankenstein, man. What'd you think, Josh, as your first time viewing?
It wasn't bad.
It was a movie.
It had a monster.
It had a burger monster.
Yeah. I would definitely put it up there as one of the more enjoyable monster films.
There was a lot in this movie that I didn't actually remember.
Well, I had forgotten that the movie was like 70 minutes. Before we got started, I forgot it was like not even a fucking hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know? Like it's quick. Bride is Bride's fucking awesome. Maybe next year. We'll see. But yeah. That was Frankenstein. You guys got anything to add?
No.
Stay spooky.
Yeah, man. It's been a good Halloween horror month. We'll be back. We'll wrap up James Bond starting next week, and then we'll move on to another franchise. This has been another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
And happy Halloween.
Bye.